they get all their proceeds back, or their principal back, they then are able to reinvest that again. That's their natural principal, their original principal, and do it over and over and over.
What's the biggest frustration that you're seeing when it comes to those that perhaps are not invested with you yet, right? That are cryptocurrency millionaires that have huge gains and they want to exit, but they're like, dude, I love to invest with you, Blake, into your fund, your real estate fund, your crypto fund. But in order to do that, I'm going to get hammered with capital gains tax. So what's the biggest frustration with exiting highly appreciated cryptocurrency?
Yeah, what we're seeing right now is, obviously there's that fear of what's the consequences of my actions in investments, especially if something has appreciated quite dramatically. What we're doing though, what the solution we've found is that in our fund we can do what's called a like kind transfer. So someone who has, $10 million in Bitcoin, $20 million in Bitcoin. They bought it in 15 or 16, 17 at 2,000 a coin or something. They can like kind transfer that into the portfolio with no actual tax consequence. And then those funds now can get put into a portfolio, moved around to where they're actually built under our principles, where they can ride, we can ride the narratives, and they don't receive that massive tax consequence in case there is all the volatility. They can remove themselves from all the volatility, but then gain the massive increase. In real estate, that's kind of what we shifted to the fund mindset. So when they're in the fund, when they're actually in the actual real estate fund, self-storage, mobile home parks fund, and we're not actually ever selling, but we pay them all their cash back, and then they're actually reaping the benefit of the rewards of the refinance. So that's tax-free, and that's ongoing forever. So when they get all their proceeds back, or their principal back, they then are able to reinvest that again. That's their natural principal, their original principal, and do it over and over and over. And again, if before I forget, if you guys have any interest in being a part of something like that, that's a three-dimensional investment in self-storage, mobile home parks, in cryptocurrency, I'm just going to have you a real quick text, 877-771-0615. So you're going to text this number. Don't call it, because it's not a number you can call, but just text it. And you're going to text the word invest and then the number 1. 877-771-0615, and then invest 1. And then that'll come to me directly, and I will help you in any way I possibly can.
Cool. So I want to make sure I caught that. So I got a client. She has 50 million in Bitcoin, and we just exited 5 million tax deferred to the Deferred Sales Trust. She worked for a big tech company out of Silicon Valley that you would know. And she had never sold, partly because she believed in the future of Bitcoin, but partly because she didn't have a good exit plan for capital gains tax, right? So the other thing is she wanted to do unlike kind, like she wanted to start a company with her college roommate and launch their own dream versus building the big tech company's dream, right? So it's entrepreneurial play. So we exited the 5, and this 5 is like the seed funding, if you will, is a way to think about it, all tax deferred to fund her business venture. So that's number 1. But what you're saying, I think, is like, well, if you just transfer to this fund, right? It's not a sale. It's maybe, I don't know if you said exchange. So I'm thinking of it's kind of like a 1031, but I think 1031 is you sell something and you actually buy something else. But what you're saying is you can remain capital gains tax deferred by going into a like kind crypto fund. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.